created this foundation, this base layer. I get it. Customers can use it. They can get started, familiarized. Developers can touch, feel, understand the experience and the options and opportunities. But then, like, what's next? How does this actually happen? Hello everybody, I'm George Sims. This is Go HandsFree episode 2, which is all going to be framed around See What I See. Again, got someone with me who's fed up of coding, wants to talk to someone for a couple hours. James Woodall. Give us a wave, James, come on.
Hey George, it seems that we're in a slightly different place to last time. A little less glamorous, I think.
A lot less glamorous, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, James. So today we're going to be looking at the RealWear Collaborate solution, which is a fresh take on remote collab and how it integrates with Microsoft and Microsoft Teams. So without further waffle, I think we should get on before we bore people too much.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so before we start diving into the details, George, just give me 30 seconds on what exactly is remote collaboration, remote expert. What's the difference? We hear these terms all the time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm guessing everybody knows what one of these is, which is our
I'd hope so, yeah.
RealWear Navigator 520, little plug. It's video calling, first of all, remote collaboration. You know, we do a lot of collaboration on our desktops. Everybody knows what it looks like to do what we're doing here, heads and shoulders on screens. But really, when you bring a RealWear device into a call, it changes the dynamic somewhat, and it brings that see what I see perspective to a video call. You would be able to see from my camera, and I can see documents and things on my viewfinder there. Use cases, problem solving. We often use the bomb disposal one, you know, cut the red wire, cut the blue wire. Remote expert coming in and helping you out. Something's gone wrong, training, knowledge share. There's a whole bunch of use cases out there, but I guess remote collaboration in its simplest form is see what I see video calling.
Okay. And then, but with regards to the difference though between collaboration and expert, are they the same things or are there differences?
I guess collaboration is probably like the fundamental foundational layer of bringing a camera on your head into a video call. I think Remote Expert takes it that next level and has lots of extra features. It's often integrated into a specific vertical or niche's workflow, and also gets integrated to enterprise systems. But yeah, I'd say collaboration is the base level, right? You're on a Teams, Zoom or WebEx call, and you want to bring a first-person camera into those calls. That's what I understand as remote collaboration.
So can you tell me about any successful deployments that we've had with this?
Yeah, I mean, collaboration or remote collaboration, like I said, it's almost the first step on the journey. As you start to look at more scaled up deployments, you see more customization, you know, be that hosting or be that features added into it. So I think we can safely say that our biggest deployments, when we're into the thousands of headsets around the world, we're definitely seeing tailored solutions, but they still want to integrate with those core collaboration products that live inside large companies. But yeah, definitely that element of customization is important when you look at scaled up.
Okay, so with regards to going back to the remote collab side then, so it sounds like on the foundational layer there's almost like a highway. The road is paved by Microsoft, by Zoom, by Cisco, those types of guys, but the solutions themselves, I guess they're built by the vendors. Yeah,
exactly. Think of Teams and Zoom, WebEx, they're foundational layers, right? They've got SDKs, APIs, you can build on top of them. And I mean, really, you should be talking about APIs and SDKs, James, not me, you know?
Yeah.
But we'll come to that in a minute. I think that, you know, think of them as the highway. The solutions are the cars that are on top of that foundational layer that really tailor it to a customer's wants, needs, and desires, right? And yeah, Microsoft Teams is obviously super prevalent in lots of large organizations now. So to have that core collaboration experience on that highway, if you like, is very important. But then to be able to bring different vehicles in on top of that to enable customers to get the experience they really, really want, I think is super important. And that's what a lot of our partners do around the world already.
Okay, great. So today, I guess we want to talk about RealWear Collaborate.
We do indeed. And what's it built on, James? Let's start there. I want to give you this shout.
Okay, great. So So RealWear Collaborate is built on top of Microsoft Azure Communication Services, which is a system that Microsoft provide, and it integrates very tightly into Teams. It's not a separate platform, so it's not a different foundational layer. If we go back to the previous segment, it is integrated into Teams to make it really easy to build your own solution on top of the Teams infrastructure, but with the features that make more sense for your use case.
Awesome.
So RealWear Collaborate, why have we done this?
I think ultimately to give customers a really nice, simple entry point solution. RealWear is, a unique device. It takes some understanding, some learning, some familiarization. So to give customers that really nice, easy, simplistic entry point solution is probably the number one reason we've done this. And then on top of that, I think to set the standard, to create a demonstrator capability for development partners or customers themselves to maybe curate, tailor the experience on top of Azure Communication Services, or to create their own Microsoft Teams experience. I think they're the two core reasons why we've gone about doing this. But to be honest, James, I don't know why you're asking me this, because you're the developer. So maybe you can give a little bit more insight to that development partner landscape ecosystem and why this is important for them.
I think your point about the entry point solution for the customers is key, because HandsFree is great. And when you're out in the front line, the last thing you want to be doing is holding a tablet or a phone. But from the development side, making something simple is complicated, especially when it comes down to the user experience. And what we've learned over 15 years or more of building these wearable interfaces is you've got to remember that the person using this device may never have seen it before. And so when we were building and we were imagining what Collaborate was going to be, the core really focus was making a small number of features that are easy to use. And although Remote Expert is very much on the expert side of things with lots of features, sometimes people just need 2 or 3 features just to solve a really quick problem. They don't need the 10, 15 other features that might come with this. And with the advent of ACS, the Azure Communication Services, we've got this really great platform that is not only accessible to us as developers, but makes a lot of sense for our customers as well. Like it or not, a large number of our customers have Microsoft Teams deployments already in their businesses. That's just where the business landscape is. So we kind of feel like by leveraging ACS with our knowledge of user experience, we can build a really great entry point into remote collaboration.
But then, ACS itself, how long has that been around? But I guess people will be asking, why didn't RealWear do this? 5 years ago. How come now? Why the shift?
I'm going to have to actually look up on my PC while I talk about this. Maybe this is a great question for ChatGPT.
Yeah, you're looking it up on your PC.
Exactly,
I know exactly what you're doing.
And the Azure Communication Services get released. There we go. While I'm talking, I can see what ChatGPT comes back with. Okay, so there we go. ACS came out in 2020. Thank you very much, ChatGPT.
There you go.
I don't believe, though, when it first came out, that it actually had the Teams interoperability pieces. I think when ACS was first launched, it was more of a standalone service. And then only later on, maybe 2022, I think, did the Teams piece actually exists, but I'm sure in the comments we'll find people correcting me if they feel the need.
ChatGPT was wrong.
Perhaps. But to answer your question, why didn't we do this before? It didn't exist. There have been for many, many years video communication platforms, SDKs that you can build on top of, but actual Teams integration has only really been available to very senior Microsoft partners. Microsoft, at least historically, didn't open up these types of things.
Yeah, and I guess that shows the shift in, enterprise technology as a whole, right? You've got hyperscale platforms, people want to build on top of them, and I think we're really just moving towards that mindset. Fixed applications are good in some instances, but they don't meet all the customer requirements. So what we're really trying to do here is give customers flexibility in the way they consume and deploy RealWear. That's interesting. And I guess that kind of moves us on to the next section of this pod, which is trying to address that or be open about the current challenges, right? What are the things that affect the market that make it difficult to consume new technology?
Yeah, so the Teams application from a foundational layer, that worked fine. That was great. But we heard from our customers that there were a number of things that they were asking for where the existing implementation just didn't quite fit. So in no particular order, shared devices. A number of our customers, I would say a large number of our customers and partners, they use shared devices in their environment.
Yep.
So what that generally meant was that if the device was hanging on the shelf and you pick it up, you put it on, it might be logged into the previous person. And to log out and log in again, especially using a username and password in a hands-free spoken environment, it just didn't make sense. So the first challenge was, how do we bring the Teams foundation using ACS and make it applicable for a shared device model? So that was the first one.
Uh-huh.
The second one was, well, once you logged in, what do you need to do? And one of the most common use cases of a Teams app is just joining a regular scheduled meeting. Maybe you have some kind of maintenance routine or training session or a knowledge transfer session or something that lives in your calendar as a Teams meeting. And if the most obvious thing you're going to do is join a meeting, from our side, let's make that really easy. The smallest, most minimum number of steps required to get into the meeting. So that was, I guess you could say, challenge 2. And challenge 3 was really on the video kind of calling quality. So the previous Teams client, it used the screen sharing data channel to transmit the video, which meant that if you needed multiple RealWear devices into a call, it didn't really work particularly well. And the quality was limited to a streaming quality that didn't really make sense for a live video feed. So those were the challenges that we kind of were faced with. But on the other side, it gave us a chance to add a couple of new things. We've recently released our thermal camera, and well, why not just bring a great thermal stream directly into Teams? It's a very kind of easy step for a customer to take. If they get a thermal camera,
we should shout FLIR out at that point as well.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, very grateful to FLIR for working with us to bring that thermal camera to the market. But using the great thermal camera, we can now join that directly into a Teams call. So
that's cool. And then, I mean, is this Teams app going to be the same? Is it just an APK? There's a few differences in the way you consume it, right? So the application on RealWear is called RealWear Collaborate. It's not called Microsoft Teams for RealWear. And also, we've linked into one of the Microsoft app stores, I believe.
Yeah. So we've added through the Teams add-on infrastructure, an app in App Source. You can just navigate on the app section of Teams. You can find RealWear in there. And by doing this, we've added an extra capability that wasn't available before, where you can dial a headset. So instead of dialing a user, you can now dial a headset. And why is that useful? Well, going back to the challenges, this may sound strange, but not everybody has a Teams account. And we found from certainly the discovery that we were doing when we were building this app was somebody might have received a headset to solve a problem in a remote environment. You were sold a bit of farming equipment and you need to fix that. The farming equipment provider may have provided the headset and you don't work for them. So you're going to put this headset on and somehow you're being asked to join a Teams meeting, but without credentials.
Got it.
So instead now, the headset can tell you a 5-digit code, and then from the Teams add-on on the desktop side, you could just simply type that 5-digit code and call the headset. So that's a really great example of using the ACS foundational infrastructure, but in a way that's not normally provided to you for a standard Teams experience.
So can you show us? Can you give us a quick demo?
All right, so I've started sharing, so we can do a really quick demo. So do you want to take your headphones off, put your headset on? And to start this off, we're going to look from the Teams app stores. So if you just search for RealWear, you'll find the new app, and when you install it, you'll get to this section. And really simple, all you need to do is give me a code. So if you're ready, and do you have a code there on your Collaborate?
Oh, I do indeed. It is GVVPM.
Okay, great. So I'm going to connect. Hopefully you should see me.
Oh, I've got a call coming through.
There we go. I'm going to stop the audio to prevent that. I'm seeing myself twice. That's not good. You're joining.
Something over here. There you go.
Oh, nice. Very good. You should actually be able to switch to thermal as well. Just give us a quick demo of that.
Okay. Thermal camera. Well, this is exciting, James. Let's hope it works.
Everyone's on edge.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. So that's thermal camera directly inside Teams, running on the full video feed.
And you can kind of see on there, look, you can actually see that all the wires are a little bit hot running into that one.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Right. So, James, this is all great. What's going to be next for this? I mean, you created this foundation, this base layer. I get it. Customers can use it. They can get started, familiarise. Developers can touch, feel, understand the experience and the options and opportunities. But then, like, what's next? How does this actually happen? What do you envisage seeing?
Yeah. So we will be open sourcing the code for RealWear Collaborate. That might sound like a bit of a strange, bold move. There are some really good kind of reasons and rationale behind that. And the main one is that, as we discussed before, our most successful deployments have been nurtured. They usually have some kind of private server deployment, and the features that those deployments contain are bespoke for the customer who wants to deploy the solution. And while we like the small number of features that we've put into RealWear Collaborate today, we know that for it to be successful into a large deployment, it's just going to need more. And honestly, we can't do all that ourselves. So we almost see this as a seeding exercise. We're going to put the code out with the features that we've got, and then a partner, a developer, an ISV, a customer, whoever can take that and really build the great experiences that make sense for their deployments, their customers.
That makes sense. And I guess, you know, we're in that many different verticals, right? We're in the energy sector, we're in public sector, we're in healthcare, logistics, warehousing. You know, the list goes on, right? And globally, for us, even if you think about language requirements in some of these deployments, right? There's like 20 different languages needed from a single company deployment perspective. It isn't really what we as RealWear are about. So the purpose of this is setting those foundational layers, enabling our ecosystem to build out, and by open sourcing this code base, we're going to help partners do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where would it be available if I'm open sourcing?
Yeah, so we'll publish it on GitHub, available to anybody who wants to go to GitHub/RealWear. It will be there. If you want to know more about the application itself, we highly recommend that you join our dev program, realwear.com/developer. We've got some great documentation. We've got a lively Discord server. So yes, you're welcome to go and download the code and try it out. If you want to talk to us about it, we've got the dev program. If you're just interested in trying the app itself, head to RealWear Marketplace and download the APK straight to your device and simply log in and join a call.
Amazing. Okay, I think we've talked this to death. Hopefully we've not bored too many people, but I found the conversation interesting. So yeah, thanks for jumping on, James, and you should probably get back to writing some code, and I'll go and build a PowerPoint presentation.
All right, great. All right, thanks, George.